would have to say maybe about the first 5 years of my marriage. That was the most difficult time that I experienced in my entire life to date.
Mhm.
And I say that because at that time we had just had my son. My husband was on and off deployment. So I was pretty much a single mom, married, but still feel like I'm single.
Right.
And so, how do I deal with all that emotion while at the same time bringing up a new child,
Right.
while at the same time trying to figure out where and how I want my life to go? Because at that time, I had already graduated college. I had just started law school, right? And I was like, I can't do this. So I ended law school. I dropped out. I only did it for like one semester because I made a decision. I need to be here to take care of my family. So I couldn't do it. And in making that decision, there was resentment. And so how do you raise a child, have a marriage when there's resentment looking at you every day in your face because you feel like I made this decision because this decision over here.
Right.
And so I carried that a long time. And it wasn't until I had to speak in my truth to my husband and have that conversation with him because I was nasty. I was nasty. I will say I was very nasty. I was very mean. I was very selfish, and I was very. And that's because I had resentment, and I didn't know how to deal with it. And also, when I had my son, I had postpartum. I didn't deal with that either. And so all that all together that I never dealt with because I never knew how to deal with it. It was very emotional and it was very hard. But again, the only way I could deal with it was had to meet it head on. I had to say, when you did this, I felt this way. When I had him, I felt this way. I still love him, but when I had him, I felt this way. And so it didn't happen overnight just because I said how I felt when I had him, or just because I spoke my truth to my husband. It didn't happen overnight where I just magically fell in love and I was like, oh, my family. No, that didn't happen overnight. That took some time. That took intentional effort, intentional work on my part to have conversation, to engage, to want to be a part of before we got to this point. And so I'm glad I took that. I'm glad I took that step. I'm glad I was truthful and I'm glad I was honest and I was glad I was brave enough to stand in that moment and allow myself to feel in that moment instead of just pushing it down and shoving it